We're going to work with Venezuela. We'll make that country very strong again. We'll get oil prices down even further.
President Trump moments ago saying that the United States is taking in millions and millions of barrels of Venezuelan oil after the dramatic arrest of Nicolas Maduro less than 2 weeks ago. With that, we bring in Energy Secretary Chris Wright. Secretary Wright, thank you. Good to see you. Thank you for being with us today. We know that gas prices are at $2.82 and that the per barrel price of crude is down 21% year over year. Give us your outlook for where this is headed and how much lower these prices could go.
Well, President Trump's energy dominance agenda has just sent a message across our country and around the world that we embrace energy. We embrace oil and gas and coal and nuclear and all forms of energy. And that has put upward pressure on supply and downward pressure on price. This is how America and Americans win. So I'm thrilled by that. The move in Venezuela is another one of these moves that's going to bring more oil supply to global markets, more oil supply to American refiners to further drive down prices for American consumers. That's the economic wins for Americans, but it doesn't stop there. We're going to reduce criminality, the drugs that are run from Venezuela into the United States, the gangs, the kidnapping of Americans. It's kind of a win across the board. Trump's innovative foreign policy has just been remarkably effective.
So let me ask you this, because I know that you said in a recent interview that Venezuelan oil would still flow to China. Iran sends about 90% of its oil at a discount to China. If there is any sort of toppling of the regime, do you see, first of all, do you see the United States taking control of Iranian oil as well, if indeed something along those lines happens?
Well, we don't, everything's on the table. Everything's on the table. But right now, that's boycotted oil. That's illegal oil that goes out of Iran, and almost no one else will buy it except for China. And the same was true for Venezuela. China bought Venezuelan oil at a massive discount. I guess that's good for China, but that was crushing for the people of Venezuela. The people of Iran are getting a very discounted price for their crude as well, because it's illicit oil. What the United States is doing in Venezuela is bringing that oil back on the regular crude market. Higher price utilizations, less corruption. China can still buy the oil coming out of Venezuela, but it's going to pay market price, and it's going to buy that oil through the United States. We're happy to do that. Iran, if the government falls there, same possibility. United States would happily be a commercial partner with them to get better price realizations for their crude, better economic development in Iran, and peace and stability in the Middle East. We stand ready.
So, obviously the two situations are different. You have an open uprising in the streets in Iran, and clearly many people in Venezuela were very, very happy to have Maduro off their shores. But, do you see, it sounds like you see the possibility for maybe some sort of negotiated understanding of who would take over in Iran if indeed the regime falls, and that person would have to be someone who would cooperate with the United States on oil in Iran?
Well, of course, look, what matters in Iran is better living conditions for the 80, 90 million Iranians live there, and to have them join the civilized nations, be an ally with the United States again, instead of the world's biggest exporter of terrorism. So, of course, the United States would love to see Iran migrate to a freer, better government. That government quite likely would prefer very strong relations with the United States, and that could come in all different formats or fashions, and I'm certainly not going to get in front of the president speculating on that. But the president's following the situation very carefully. Yeah,
it can be very interesting to watch how this unfolds, because it is another place that has a lot of oil reserves in Iran. But some say that, our allies, or, the better relationship that we have under the Trump administration with Saudi Arabia and also oil producers here in the United States, they don't want to see prices go much lower. What do you say to that, Secretary Wright?
Yeah, well, I say, look, 100% of Americans are impacted by the price of gasoline and heating oil and diesel and their travel costs. So Americans as a whole, of course, win with lower energy prices. It is tough. If you're in the business of selling oil and gas, lower prices are tougher. But the administration's done everything possible to lower the price to produce oil in the United States, to encourage more investment in that, to have reasonable regulation, drive down price break-evens. Everyone wins with lower oil prices, even the oil and gas companies, as long as they can innovate and have enough cost reduction to keep their profitability up.
Yeah. Well, you have a very busy job and fast-moving in terms of the energy resources right now and these global dynamics. Secretary Wright, thank you.